I wanted to do a quick video. I thought it might be helpful because there's so much confusion about the different varieties of mulberries. There's so many different dwarf everbearings that people get, and I thought me showing you the leaves that I have might be helpful. So my largest by far out of the 30-something varieties I have is Tice. Has a huge heart-shaped leaf, and I won't say how big they are, I'll just show you the picture. But that is such a delicious old Florida variety. The tree gets wide, not super big, but it's just a beautiful hardy tree with a delicious fruit. And Valdosta I got from Just Fruits and Exotics. It's also really delicious big fruit, and it grows super good here in Central Florida also. Australian green, I think it's similar to Pakistani white. I haven't tried Pakistani white, but I've tried this one, and it's good and sweet, a real long variety like the Pakistani. Kind of struggles here so far. I've had it in the ground 8 months. It's about I don't know, maybe 7 foot tall, but not many fruits this year. Florida Giant struggled when I first planted it here in Central Florida. I got it from out of state because when I first started planting mulberries about 5 years, they were hard to find, and even the Florida varieties I had to buy out of state. So that's Florida Giant, delicious fruit. Shangri-La, I just picked this one up at Echo in Fort Myers because the leaves were different than my Shangri-La. This is a real coarse leaf, thick leaf, and this is the Shangri-La that I've originally had that I bought from someone out of state probably 4 or 5 years ago. And it's more papery and thin. So I always like to get them and see if they're different. So I've got, I think, 3 different Shangri-Las growing from different people. And this is maple leaf. I think it wants a little more cold. It hasn't really, there's been a handful of fruits on the tree and the birds get them. But it's a beautiful leaf tree. Yeah, definitely wants more cold. So does Oscar. Oscar's a real pretty tree. It grows good here, but it doesn't fruit a whole lot because it wants at least an 8. I would say a 6 to an 8 zone. But super good fruit, hard to find, delicious. This is my black Pakistani. I have 3 trees. This is, I think I got this one from Burnt Ridge. Then I have one from Dave Wilson, and I have an L.E. Cooke's one, which my daughter-in-law does think is different and tastes a little better. I'm still debating that one. To me, they taste the same. L.E. Cooke's could be a little more productive, but they all are huge trees. They have lots and lots of fruit. It is delicious. Tastes like grape jelly. It's the sweetest by far of any of the mulberries. And I would say the next one is Shangri-La in its sweetness. And then this is a true Black Beauty Morus Nigra. And it's a coarse leaf. It doesn't do real good in Central Florida, but I get a handful of delicious little fruit off of it. They look more like a blackberry. It's super good. They just don't grow good, and they're extremely slow growers. And then this is Maui. This was one of my newest top 5s this year. I got it from a cutting from Hawaii. It was my first to fruit, and I mean, fruited heavily. They were delicious, maybe about 1.5 inches long. And then by the time they were done, World's Best and Jan's Best were coming on. Delicious. Jan's Best is my hybrid Dwarf Everbearing. Super productive, very disease resistant, drought tolerant, delicious sweet tart berries. About 1 inch long. I've got a video on YouTube, and I have the ruler, and I show the length of the berries, and super, super good. And World's Best is my friend. My trees were from Bryce's, and that's just, it's really a must-have tree. They are so good. 2 inches long consistently, beautiful tree, grows great here in Central Florida. It's, to me, the same as Thai Dwarf, only it grows better, at least here in Central Florida. And that's my Shangri-La. Shangri-La is a big fat berry that is very sweet and a little tart, but mainly sweet, and it's super good. And it's an old Florida variety. And then I got this Boysenberry from Just Fruits and Exotics, and it has a really good, a skinny long berry. I would say it's about 1.5 inches long. Really good, tart, sweet berry. Tastes different than the others that I've had. Anyway, I just wanted to show some of the leaves. And I just wanted to also say, don't go by the first time that your tree fruits. It might not be that good. Because Shangri-La, the first year that I had it, I was like, what is the hype on this thing? I'm going to dig it up because it was awful. And then from then on, the next year, delicious fruit. And it's the same with, this year was a strange starting out year for the mulberries. Let's see, which one was it? Valdosta didn't taste good at first. It tasted very grassy. And they're delicious, and they're delicious now. So you can't really go by just tasting one time if you went to a tree, because they can change. So give your mulberries a chance. And the Pakistani takes a few years to start fruiting. World's Best, Jan's Best tries to fruit almost immediately when you start it from a cutting. And so by 6 months, you can definitely have fruit, and by a year you're going to have loaded fruit. And they all grow super fast except for Girardi Dwarf is a very slow grower of the ones I have, and the Black Beauty, and all the rest do great from cuttings, except Maple Leaf seems to be a little hard to root for me, and Australian Green I've never gotten to root. And let's see. And then Black Beauty I've never gotten to root. But all the rest of them I have rooted, and they root very easily. All right, well, I hope this is helpful. Have a good day. Plant lots of fruit trees. Central Florida, Zone 9B.